So community is everything for us. We don't want to be another mass producer. Our mission is to avoid chemicals as much as possible. And that's how we set out in the beginning, was like to do good work with good people.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of SolPod Studios. My name is Mia Rubiera, and I'm recording from Cincinnati, Ohio. Today I'm thrilled to be speaking with Rachna and Ruchika Kumar. They are co-founders of Ichcha, a sustainable textile brand that's doing incredible work to further ancient Indian crafts and promote conscious consumerism. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Could you start by telling us the vision behind the brand?
So Ichcha, which means a wish, was basically a wish by my sisters and I to do good work with good people. Rachna always had a wish to preserve the Indian crafts, and it was a moment in our life where we joined forces and decided to go explore the crafts of India and work, like make relationships with the people and develop our designs. I trained as a textile designer, so we decided to make the products with different types of ancient craft techniques, and hope that we could play a little part in helping this craft go further down the road and survive.
That's really incredible. So kind of talking about the textiles that you guys use and working with like other artisans, your website talks a lot about the importance of conscious products, especially reducing textile waste. For those who may not be as familiar who are listening to the podcast today, can you explain what a conscious product means and how it plays out in your brand's model?
So our logo, or our saying of our logo, is to create conscious product, or conscious living, and that means to be aware of what we are creating, how we're creating, who we're creating it with, and whom are we creating it for. So we work with organic cotton farmers. It's not necessarily, it's organic cotton as in it's pesticide free. It's grown in a very dry region, requiring very little water. And from the fiber to where it's woven to where it gets printed and then stitched and then makes its way to us and to the consumer. So we try to think of the whole process. And if there is any wastage along the way, what can we do about the wastage? How do we repurpose it, upcycle it? So that's the generic view of us trying to be more conscious about the products we create. We don't want to be another mass producer. So we work with limited quantities. We work with techniques that are slow. So block printing, natural dyeing, hand weaving, all of this gives us time to stop, pause, and think about what are we doing? Why are we doing this? So we've also done a lot of zero waste products. So if there's any defect in our product while printing, there's mistakes that happen. There's wastage. Maybe we can reprint. Maybe we can make it into another product. So we try to use as much of the fabric as we can to try and not have any waste, basically.
I love how each textile or clothing material is intentional, and there's a story behind it, and there's a lot of thought that's put behind it, because I think we see a lot nowadays of mass production, and you're just trying to keep up with fast fashion. So I really love your mission with that in Ichcha. So what are some of the crafts that you guys are helping preserve, and what is it like working with the artisan communities in India?
We are working with block printers, weavers. We are also working with a NGO where they've sort of employed the women of the village. And they do embroidery for us.
And stitching, some stitching.
Yeah, and stitching as well. So, yeah, those are the different kinds of crafts that we work with.
in like block printing, we work with wooden blocks and natural dyes only. Our mission is to avoid chemicals as much as possible. So natural dyes is like to try and get colors from like leaves, flowers, minerals, giving us beautiful shades of like reds, oranges, yellows, and green, like the clothes we're wearing. And weaving, we work with a village of weavers that use the organic cotton that is grown in that area. They transport that fabric to our printers where we work on printing, and then it goes to the women embroidering community where they embellish the fabric a little bit further. And so it's separate communities that we've joined forces with, and it's amazing to work with these communities. There's a sense of family that ends up happening. You attend somebody's wedding over there, or their child is born, so you're taking gifts. So every time our suitcases are filled with gifts when we go. It's not a sense of doing business. It's more like you're hugging when you go there. Whenever we go to our block print community, they receive us with a garland of flowers and sweets, and sometimes they throw roses from the ceiling. It's always a festival when we're there.
The last time we went, there were these their kids who had actually taken after the garlands that they put on us. They took the garlands and they opened the garlands and they took the flowers and they made the sign "Welcome" on the floor. So it was also recycled, right? Even the garlands were recycled, and it was really nice.
The kids were excited. They're like, "Come on, let's go to your." We stay in the factory, so they're like, "Come on, let's go to your room." And they took us upstairs, so they were as excited. So this is like the 5th generation that we're getting to be a part of their lives. So yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. And I love how you said, like, whenever you come there, it's not like a business thing. Like, we're all friends here. There's like hugging. It's very welcoming. I think that's exactly how brands should be. You're forming a community within a business. I think that's absolutely incredible. Can you share more about the social impact side of Ichcha and how community plays into your business values? I know you just said about community and how important that is. But if you don't mind touching a little bit on that.
So community is everything for us. We aim to create a family rather than a business relationship. And that's how we set out in the beginning, was like to do good work with good people. Who do you enjoy working with? We've met a lot of people, but we've settled with a few that you can sit down and have a meal with them and not get bored. After being in this business for 15 years, we're not bored. We're excited to go to meet them every year. We didn't end up going last year, and so Rachna is really missing them because there's a lot of like camaraderie, and you tease each other. So it's fun. In terms of social impact, we have some programs that we're trying to work on, and some things that we've done in the past. We have a Ichcha for Artisan program where we try to encourage the artisans we work with to explore their own creativity and become a part of our business model, basically benefit from the profit as well, and get a sense of like everybody working on it is as important as we are the owners of the business. So we give out fabric to everybody in the block print community, and we say, go ahead, design whatever you want, color it as you want, and at the end we'll pick something that we feel would do good in the market here and sell it, and all the profit will go back to them divided equally, from the person who's washing, from the person who's drying the fabric, to the stitcher, to the printer, just so they know, like when somebody's laying down a piece of fabric, this is going to make them money. It's not just us who's going to be profiting off of it, but they will as well. So that's a thing that's everybody's excited and looking forward to when we go over there. They wait for the fabric, and they also like hide fabric from each other, their designs from each other, because some people want to show off. So it's like, and it's interesting to see what they come up with, and how they manipulate the printing technique, the dyeing technique, because they've been doing this for years, since they were children, basically. Because a lot of them, they learn with their parent or a friend or something. So it's an exciting program for them as well as for us. Besides that, we do an education for women fund. We've funded about so far 10 women. We've started just recently, to fund the education for them for further studies. So if you're becoming a nurse or a teacher, and you want to get your master's, so we try to fund the scholarships for them. During COVID, we had a GoFundMe, where, if because at that time, you were trying to not spread the disease, stay at home, but if these artisans stayed at home, it would affect them economically. So we had set up a fund that if you're sick, stay home, we'll pay for your days off. Or if somebody passes in your family and you can't come to work, because in their culture there are things like you can't go to work for a few months or something, we'll pay for your months off. Yes. And besides this, recently we've started a scholarship for the kids of the printers. We're setting up like an application system, an essay. Let us they can apply for it, and we can provide funds for the children. But these are all like programs that we are working on developing, perfecting. Um, and like, it's about the community, and so in any way the business can assist, we're all for it.
That's amazing how many things that you guys support, when it's like to the very youth to the adult side.
Right.
I think that's all absolutely incredible. And I really love how you're empowering local artisans as well as women in the process. And even through the whole COVID, like helping support people who were sick, and like sometimes you need to go to work every day, but being able to
Right.
help pay for those days off, because when you are sick, all you want to do is rest, and that's what's most
Mhm.
important. So I love how you guys were help supporting people. After taking a look on your website, I have a question for both of you. Do you mind telling me the process of how a clothing item comes to be, like the step by steps? Because it sounds like there's a lot of people who are involved in the making of one singular clothing item, which is incredible. Do you mind going step by step?
Yeah, so it depends on what kind of end product we're making. So if we talk about our table linens, that's something you would start at the point of we are supporting organic farmers first. So the cotton is grown and sewed and weaved, and then once they have the cotton, it's then made into yarn, and then it's hand woven on the hand loom. And once the fabric is ready, then it goes to the block printers, where it gets block printed,
Washed.
yeah,
Washed. You have to wash off the impurities
Yeah.
first, of like
Starch.
the starch or anything that's in the cotton weave stuck or whatever. So it's ready to take in the dyes afterwards.
Yeah, so it would be about a few days before the fabric is ready, because it takes about 2-3 days to wash off all that. And then they start printing on it, and that printing and dyeing could be a multiple day,
Yeah, 3 to 4 day process.
Yeah.
Depending on how complicated the design is.
Yeah. And then after that, it gets washed and dried in the sun. So if it's like right now, monsoon season, nothing is getting done over there. So all work is stopped. But on regular time, it gets dried in the sun, and then it gets washed and then stitched, and then it comes here. Some of our table linens have also been embroidered. So then it goes to the NGO, where they embroider our table linens. But that's the longest of all the processes. Otherwise, our other fabrics, like our crop tops or scarves, we get the fabric, and then they go directly to the block printers, and then they um, again, make it ready and then block print and naturally dye. So there's no, these are not hand woven, but our table linens are all hand woven. And yeah, right.
So yeah, it can go from to the cotton to the weaving to the printing to the stitching for one process, or there's times where we just source the fabric and then print and stitch. We also have a seamstress here in New York City that we work with to do some of our stitching for our clothing as well. We design in house.
The shirt I'm wearing, this is actually inspired by Ethiopian art, and so it has gone through multiple steps. It's gone through like about 3 steps of printing and dyeing and
washing and drying.
Yeah,
that's insane. The whole process from like start to finish. I think it's so cool learning about like each individual step, because I think sometimes we don't think about the in between. We think about, oh, the clothing's here now, we're just going to go buy it and bring it home. But it's like clothes can be on a whole journey to get to where it's like from fabric to rack, which is absolutely incredible. You both have described yourselves as world citizens. How has global travel influenced your design process and business decisions?
To be global citizens, we were born in different countries because our dad was a diplomat. So we spent about 3 to 4 years in different countries and absorbed the culture, the people, the food, the crafts of that specific region. And that's just stuck with us. And we've been enthralled with discovering more new places. And for me, as a textile designer, I've been very attracted to repetitive patterns. So like wherever we go, I'll be taking photos of trees and flowers and anything and everything, and that then comes out into our patterns and our blocks.
Yeah, this shirt that I was telling you about, we stayed in Ethiopia for 3 years, a little over 3 years, and so that's why we love Ethiopian food, we love Ethiopian culture, and I have very nostalgic memories about that time. So that's why we wanted to do something with that, and this shirt was inspired by that art from there.
It's basically, I guess, also paying homage to our time there, the people there, because they were lovely as well, and having fond memories of them. So like it's in a way keeping alive a photograph, or carrying it into our future and bringing it into other people's lives as well.
So you didn't start in fashion or sustainability. Rachna, you started off in tech. Can you tell us about what it's like switching paths and becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think I had, even though I was in tech, I had a dream of having something of my own, creating something of my own. So I had a passion towards it. And when I did get the opportunity to switch, I switched. And it was, it took a long time to do that, but it finally did. And I enjoy what I do. Every day is an enjoyment. It's not something that I have to do. It's something that I want to do, so it makes every day more peaceful. And you don't have a boss. You're your own boss. You make your own hours. So I have not regretted the day. I mean, it is a lot of hard work as well. There's a lot of long hours, but it's something that brings me joy. So I think, it's been great since then.
And Ruchika, you were in design school, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Do you mind telling the viewers out there a little bit of your time in design school and how that helped shape the business you guys have now?
So I started out at FIT as a textile designer, and I did my bachelor's there. I got an internship in the city that turned into a full-time job. I was designing shower curtains, table linens, anything and everything. And I started to feel a little stuck or lost in the middle, and I wanted more meaning. I wanted to really have more connection with my art. I didn't want to just design on the computer, send it off, and have piece come back. And it was always like it's due yesterday. Everything was due yesterday, and I started to feel like it's not that serious. So I decided to get my master's in textile design, and I searched a lot of schools. I looked up schools in the US, and I got accepted, but I felt it wasn't anything new. I felt like it was just a repetition of my bachelor's degree. So um, I didn't feel it was challenging enough, or if I was going to learn anything new. So I then started applying. I waited another year and I applied for schools in the UK, and I got accepted over there. So I went and I looked at all the schools that I got accepted into to see which one I wanted to go to. And they were all different. I did London, I did Leeds, and I did in Scotland, Edinburgh. And I actually dragged the whole family over there to go look at all the schools. And funny thing was, the last school in Edinburgh, we had my other sister, Monica. She and I got on a bus, and we switched like 3 buses, got off at a field in the middle of nowhere, and crossed across this lawn to get to this school. They were great schools, but I felt like I needed to stay in the city, so I chose London as my city and school to study at. And the master's degree over there was for 1 year, and basically you had to work on your thesis. So I chose to do block printing with natural dyes. For some reason, I was very curious about it, and then that's what I wanted to learn and do. But when I got there, they didn't really have the tools to teach that. So then I set out to India, and I worked with a family over there that was the family we work with now. I learned the whole process with them, and I came back and I finished my master's doing natural dyes at that time. And basically, sustainability was just picking up at that time. So I learned a lot about reusing fabric, thinking about the whole life cycle of our textiles. And Rachna at the same time was, she was still working in the tech world, but she was about done. And so I also did not want to continue working in the industry where I did not feel fulfilled and close to my art. So I was like, I called her one day and I was like, all right, let's do it. I know you've been wanting to do this and I don't want to go back. So let's set out and start this business. And Monica, our other sister who has done environmental science, she was actually on this podcast a while ago.
Yes.
She became our sustainability officer to keep us and our business in line so we don't stray. And that's how this started.
Wow. I love how there might have been a few different paths for all of you guys, but you all came to the same point and you drew your backgrounds in to create the business like Ichcha. So kind of going off universities, kind of going off colleges, for students or young people who want to explore careers in sustainability, who want to explore careers in entrepreneurship, fashion, or just start their own values-driven brand, what advice would you give them?
Just start. That's basically it. The hard part is starting. And when we decided to start, it wasn't like, oh, we started. We did a lot of research. We set out to explore, meet people, discover. For us, was discovering the techniques in India. Get a mentor. There were people that I looked up to, businesses I looked up to, so I reached out to them. And you'd be surprised. There are a lot of, older people or like people who are already in the industry who are very willing to help and talk and, meet them up for coffee or send them an email. That's how I was able to get to learn, basically. It started with a connection, who then connected with me with somebody else, who then connected me with somebody else, and then I ended up in India, and then we started the business. That's it. Just start, talk to people. It's very exciting to start learning, to just living and learn every day, and then you'll get somewhere. If not, where you think, you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have a business background either.
Right. We didn't know any business.
Yeah.
So we're still learning.
You're still figuring everything out, and I think that's probably the most exciting part of the business.
Yeah.
Is figuring out and then feeling good about having it figured out.
Right. And there's going to be challenges. So I feel like a challenge is always a good thing for us. It's a closed door, because then there's another door that you're supposed to open and go through and figure something else out, or your business will take a turn. Like for us, COVID, everybody was scared, what's going to happen, businesses are going to go down, or nobody's going to buy. But at that time, Rachna started to use her techie brain, and we started making clothing out of our scarves, because who's going to buy scarves? But we started making crop tops and dresses, and that's been really good for us, and it's brought a different aspect to our business since then.
I love that. It's like starting now, like taking the leap, like make sure you're also networking and making connections, because also
Right.
other people can help with their experiences and draw knowledge in. And just, yeah, it's like taking that leap, which can sometimes be the scariest part.
Yeah.
It is.
So, since starting the company, you all have worked as sisters. So, how has your relationship evolved since becoming co founders?
Yeah, so I think it's gotten stronger, in my opinion. I think working with family is one of the biggest blessings you can have, and the relationship is one of no ego. So you are able to say things to each other and not mind, and take it, with a grain of salt.
Says the eldest. So the youngest has to listen to her.
So, like I said, we might have different answers, but I feel like it's been great. It's been evolved. Like, I feel like I've evolved, and as the business has evolved, I've also grown with her. So it's good.
I think we fought a lot more in the beginning, but then you've got into a little system, and we know our strengths and our weaknesses. So where I may falter, she'll pick up, or where she falters, I'll pick up. And we just both know, like, especially in our when we go to India, like, she handles the dyeing, I'll do the printing. We both know our strengths in the field, and we'll ask each other, and then Monica will be our tiebreaker. So there's always, it's good. Yes, the ego thing, there's really no deep ego, but yeah, you'll get mad at each other and you'll fight, and sometimes we'll say, no, I'm not compromising. I'm not listening to you. So it's good. It's been a learning experience and a growing experience together.
I love that. It's like helping each other where you might need it, but also recognizing each other's strengths to help promote a great business. I love it. So, as we come to the final question today, we end every episode with this question. If you had a sustainability superpower, what would it be and why?
Okay, I'll start first. I think for me, I love oceans a lot, and I feel like I really feel horrible when I see plastic all filling up the oceans and killing the animals in there. So I feel like if I had a power, I'd like to, one, get rid of all the plastic, especially in the oceans, but all around the world, and also actually eliminate where it originally started from, when it started from. So
go back to the past. So that's another superpower.
So that would be my supernatural power.
So I would like to eliminate chemical dyes, basically. Everything, I feel like I would love for everything to be colored around us with natural elements. So if we have anything we're wearing, anything that's in our homes, just to be dyed with flowers and leaves and barks, everything. There's no fake colors
Mhm.
out there, basically.
Mhm. Those are both such beautiful superpowers. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much, Rachna and Ruchika, for joining us today on SolPods. To learn more about Ichcha, you can visit www.ichcha.com or follow them on their social medias. And if you'd like to hear more from their sister Monica, SolPods did a podcast a while back, and you can visit that on our website. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mia.